Predator versus Team Liquid. Game 1.
That's right, we are here, TNC versus Liquid. I'm joined by Febby, Kyle. Clearly you're even more prepared than I am, but you know, I don't even need these notes because this is a rematch. I don't need to know what happens. TNC already beat Liquid 2-0 in the group stage. That's what got them into the upper bracket. What are we even doing here, Febby? Oh, okay.
We're talking about the draft.
We are.
We're supposed to be not biased.
Not biased, of course not. So then what are we doing here? It's TNC versus Liquid, Southeast Asia versus Europe. It's already been predetermined. Has Liquid somehow turned it around? Do they know what they're doing now?
It's not just about the regions, man. This is Heen versus Kuro.
Oh.
Come on, this is...
Okay.
This is a
throwback.
Heen's too mild-mannered to say it, you know? And there's no bad blood necessarily, but this is certainly one of those matches for elimination with a little extra play.
Okay.
And it'll be curious. Me and Febby were talking about it before the series started. We agree that if anyone's got to shift it up a bit, it's going to be Liquid.
Right.
Because TNC seems to have their number. I think their play style matches up really well against the way Liquid's been playing. And Liquid hasn't been playing very well.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, so I was kind of looking at the drafts from Liquid, and they seem to always kind of change it up every few matches or so, because I think they're trying to figure out their own meta as well as the tournament goes on, because their resource has been kind of lackluster. Meanwhile, on TNC, they did lose to VG, but I think it's because of the 10th pick Brood, which I think it actually hurt them. It wasn't actually a good Brood game, so I think the quality of the Dota that TNC has been playing, it's like tier 1. They can take it for the Philippine boys.
Right, and something that I know Blitz had mentioned earlier when looking at Liquid is that he doesn't think that they're a middle-of-the-road kind of team. They're either going to be bottom 4 or they're going to be top 4. The question is, have they figured it out? Are they moving around in their picks because they want to find out where they're settling? Was their first BO1 where they actually defined it?
Well, can we get into the bans?
Yeah, please.
Because you were talking about this, right, Febby? You expected the Beastmaster ET would be eliminated from TNC. Because I think ET specifically, Fog's been jumping up for joy because it's finally been realized by the scene that this hero is nuts. You'd think that, with damage amp being such an incredibly important mechanic, people would realize, hey, this hero removes all my armor. And my magic armor from range. This can't be fair. It really isn't. So that's taken out right away. Liquid...
So the pick order is kind of different. Liquid opened up Chen, and last time TNC kind of baited the Chen open, and they were able to take the Chen away from Liquid, but Liquid, this time around, they just first picked the Chen for themselves. And meanwhile, SD is still open, and it's one of the hottest heroes of the tournament, SD and ET.
But I feel like Chen's traditionally excellent against the SD, though.
Yes,
in theory.
I think so too.
And I feel like if I'm... Well, they just do it anyway. All right, SD Mirana.
Yeah,
now,
it's not just an SD, it's an SD Mirana.
Here's the thing, though, because I know TNC is comfortable playing Mirana core. Cuckoo specifically loves these weirder offlaners. He's been, I think, the first person that really played offlane Tiny and showed everyone how it was done with the Ags and the Daedalus build. And this is a threat now because you have that role versatility. You don't know if this is the support duo or perhaps a lane. And I really like Mirana. This is something Optic used to do to us back when we played against them all the time in NA like a year and a half ago, where you would play Mirana safely. Wherever you thought the Chen wanted to play and pressure, you put a core Mirana there. And there's always the catapult arrow, you arrow the creeps. It's very difficult for Chen to play aggressive into this hero. Or you could theoretically just have him follow the Chen around in the jungle anytime he looks to get active.
Yeah, that is true. It is a very good counter against Chen. It just one-shots the creeps, so Chen kind of have to dodge the Mirana in the laning phase.
Yeah. I like the Tide in response, though, because obviously you can plant the arrow off yourself. It's very hard to 100 to 0. The Shadow Demon Disrupt into arrow combo isn't as effective. And in addition, you have to assume that the SD will be used at some point to make a bunch of illusions. Late game, the Anchor Smash, very effective. You just limit damage.
It's one of the heroes of the tournament, too, I think. Tide has been picked quite a lot, and it has a pretty high win rate, too.
What is that win rate?
I have no idea. I'm not the stats man. You're talking to the wrong guy.
I threw away my notes. Febby, I thought you had it all prepared.
I'm sorry. You guys want to talk to the man with the white hair.
Dude, it would be so funny, though, if he actually just ran out from backstage, furiously, papers flying everywhere. Yeah.
So can I guess what TNC is going to pick here? Or I think TNC is going to pick Sanking here. The reason is TNC always prioritizes...
They got a ban first. getting ahead of yourself. This is that magical part of the draft where you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
You just hang out.
No. Sand
Alright.
King, justify it for me. I want to hear this.
So what I was gonna talk about is TNC always picks these like team fight heroes. They have like two styles of playing. They either pick team fight with Earthshaker, Sand King, or they pick Bat Rider and play around with the vision. And right now, Mirana is most likely gonna be played by Tims. Yes, position 3 Mirana is possible, but I think like support Mirana kind of makes more sense because they picked it for the Chen. I think this Mirana is going to try to follow the Chen around. So
It's the TNC style, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you consider Liquid's comfort. It feels like Kuro certainly acts as like the brain controlling the body of his teammates. And if you slow down his game, like you can't really impact the map like you want. He traditionally likes to get like level 3, level 4, gets 2 creeps, starts summoning in allies. You can do a lot of cool plays with Tide and Chen because you have now that superior teamfight advantage, but you don't lack in mobility as you usually would with this, fat watermelon that you've got to kind of drag around to fight. Now you just TP him in and all of a sudden you can dive with authority because you're just not going to be able to challenge a Tide level 7, level 8 with Ravage active.
And I think that's going perfectly against what TNC like to do. TNC is something that originally the Raven era TNC is something that I thought was the quintessential for Protect 1. You just got to enable Raven, and then all of a sudden TNC will find a victory somehow. But this era of TNC, it's like they get 4 cores at the end of every single game. So if you just rush them early with something like a Chen Tide Hunter, they may not even get the chance.
Kunkka's great here as well. It's one of those hard counters to Chen because you not only offer excellent wave clear, but early game, when Chen looks to get aggressive around objectives, you have some of the best team fight in Dota with the boat early.
So do you think that Tide is as cooldown dependent as he once used to be, Febby? Because I know a lot of people back in the day, they're like, oh, Ravage, you gotta play around Ravage all the time. These days it seems he just soaks up all the aggression from the enemy team. You just need Anchor Smash to just walk around all the time.
yeah, exactly. When your ulti is up, you can play aggressive. When your ulti is down, you can just play defensive by your tower, and you're just this fat Tide who's like pretty hard to kill because of the Kraken share. So.
And now he's got a Tusk on his team, another form of save. So between Hand of God and the Snowball, it's going to be hard to take down these tanky targets.
I was thinking it was going to be either Earth Spirit or Tusk because look at how they play with the Chen is this Chen will always like walk around and bring over GH, whatever he's playing, Tusk or Earth Spirit.
Tusk is better here just because, one, you have the synergy with the Chen, you can snowball creeps, you have the tag team for amp damage, and in addition, when you're playing against heroes like Kunkka, like Mirana, you have a lot of like incoming damage that's very easy to foresee. An X into a boat. Now a snowball, all of a sudden, you turn a fight around immediately. Earth Spirit's nice, but it's effectively all aggressive, and you don't have that save mechanic. I think it's really good here.
Right now, it seems like Liquid draft is more versatile in terms of like, playing aggressive and playing defensive. There's 2 saves from Chen and Tusker.
But TNC's lineup is just it's them to a T. It's pure aggression. Every hero with some sort of stun, some with multiples, and you get ahead. It's so easy to take over the map just because you have the free smokes from the Mirana, and you can just continuously play aggressive the entire game.
For me, Wraith King is a bit of a question mark because his laning against like these aggressive heroes is not good, and against Tide too. Tide is usually pretty good against Wraith King because it just one-shots the Wraith King skeletons. So it's a bit of a question mark pick. I haven't seen TNC play a lot of it either. So it is a pretty good carry hero though.
So what are you thinking for Liquid then?
Pardon? What did you say?
What do you think for Liquid?
Ember looks okay if it's not. Yeah, it's not banned, right?
So
Ember
what are you looking for in that more general sense? So you're saying Ember because what do you want, like a very mobile mid game oriented mid, something that moves around a lot?
Because I was thinking like Liquid, I was kind of casting their games here and there, and they look really solid when Miracle makes like when Miracle is on those like space making heroes like Ember, Lesh, Gyro, those heroes that don't need items and can still fight early on.
Which is something that a lot of people were thinking was going to be the opposite direction whenever Weehaw was brought onto the team. They thought that, Miracle, he wants to be an even greedier one than ever before, and Weehaw's going to be the space creator. But the way that they've been playing TI so far does go in favor of what you're saying.
It's almost counter to what Kuro said himself during that massage interview.
Yes, exactly.
Where he's like, I wanted a pure mid player. But then Weehaw, he plays this BO1 elimination on a Necro. And we all kind of scratch our heads a little bit, and it just kind of goes to show as well, like how complex Dota is. It's tough to understand, There's player comfort, there's team comfort, there's just overall draft synergies that maybe people think are like ahead in power level. You never really know.
I think if you compare this version of Liquid to the last version it was like a pure 4+1. Miracle will farm everything. But this version, I feel, is Miracle and Weeha shares the farm a little bit.
Yes, that's for sure the case. And they're going to go with
one of
Templar Assassin.
Yeah, one of Weeha's signature heroes on this team, right? It's TA or Windranger, and they go for TA.
Probably should have seen it coming, right? It's not...
I mean, it's into a Kunkka, though.
It is, but I like it a lot against Wraith King. It's like a lower armor hero.
For sure.
And in addition, SD Mirana, like even if you set up the arrow combo, it's pretty much just going to be handled by refraction.
Yeah.
I do agree that Kunkka, the torrent does take off every single charge.
Exactly.
However, the lane matchup, especially if Weeha gets a little bit of help from this roaming Tusk Chen, you can get ahead and start dominating the lane.
I don't remember which game it was, but I really like this Liquid approach to the Wraith King. They know that Wraith King, he needs Midas, he needs Radiance. It's gonna be online pretty slow. Meanwhile, look at Liquid. They have Chen, they have Tide, they have T8. Like their heroes can snowball really hard. From 15 to 20 minutes, they're gonna choke out TNC's map so hard.
But it requires, I think, a higher degree of execution. You don't have the luxury of making mistakes as Liquid because you're based around this time. TA, sure, you can get ahead, stay ahead, crush through a game, but it's a lot like a Quap. You die a couple times, you end up even in net worth against a hero like Wraith King or Kunkka, and you just don't have nearly the same amount of game impact.
So then one thing that I immediately think of every single time I see a Templar Assassin, and I want both of your thoughts. First, Febby, why do you ever prefer a Blink Dagger first versus a Desolator first on a TA? What context do you go for which item?
I think it depends on how good your game is, and it depends on your cores too. Because if your cores are backline killers, then you don't have to be the one that's blinking in. You can just go Desolator, BKB without blink and just play in the front line and take all the towers down, take all the Roches down. And I don't know. I think it depends on the game.
So then, Kyle, do you think Weeha is a more greedy Templar Assassin? You think he's going to be stacking those Ancients, just rushing that Desolator, and he's going to be like, yo, give me the early Roche, even though they are dire, which does slightly complicate things, and they're actually going to wrap it up with the Troll Warlord.
Yeah, it's one of the vintage Miracle picks. I'm not quite sure. It really depends on how his game starts. I think Deso, it depends on how aggressive they want to play. I think more importantly, how many towers they've taken out. Because you can kill a couple towers early. I actually think Blink almost works as a tool to accelerate faster.
You got a Chen on your team.
Now you can play enemy jungle, you can abuse traps, like you have a lot more freedom to play the map. Deso first is usually for more of that static game where once you pick it up, then you start to look for objectives. Because of the Chen, you could perhaps see that coming. You never know, because Kuro could also play, if he has this Mirana following him around the map and he has a slower start, maybe he has to play his own woods more, maybe he's stacking Ancients.
Oh,
and God, that is such
bad
a
rider. Templar Assassin, what the hell are you gonna do now?
Troll too, man. This is one of those dream picks. You pop your ultimate on Troll and then just get lassoed, dragged up to a high ground or something. There's not really much you can do.
Yeah, it's a dream Bat Rider game, and I think Cuckoo's, that's like top 3 heroes for Cuckoo. Sand King, Bat Rider, and +1 that I can't really seem to remember.
It just feels like it's TNC's comfort, right? If Liquid make a mistake or two, they're just going to get run over, and you're going to get to this point where all of TNC's heroes are just too tanky for these more burst carry type styles of the Liquid lineup.
The combo potential is extremely high from this TNC draft, but I've got a combo that's even better. Let me pass it on over to Odie Pixel and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Tsunami. TNC versus Liquid. What a brilliant way to end day 2 here at the TI9 at main stage. Both of these teams, I mean, what can we expect? TNC, they've come in with a lot of big surprises in sort of the group stage in terms of how they've been able to just break down teams in some phenomenally long games, some 60, 70-minute matches. And Liquid have been sort of up and down. They've had some series themselves where I think coming into the event, a lot of people would have expected them to sort of just roll over their opponents but they haven't. They've been tripped up. Now here on the main stage against TNC, it's not going to be easy for Liquid. There's every reason to believe that TNC could take this series.
Absolutely. I mean, looking at their draft too, I feel like every time TNC somehow is able to get Cuckoo on one of his best heroes, he seems to always be getting his bat.
How does he get a
his
big bat?
Right? It seems like so many times we cast them, we're like, Cuckoo, He's always super dominant on these two heroes, and he always does seem to get it. So we'll see how they're going to be able to make use of it versus that one, because like the panel mentioned, this Templar Assassin, this Troll Warlord, there are some significant counters that TNC has drafted.
Exactly. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves into the action of this best of 3. TNC versus Liquid. The loser is going home, so they better play their best if they want to have a chance of sticking around here at the International. And
Ooh, this is an interesting... so we're going to see some tri-lane action, it looks like, by Liquid, as they're bringing the Chen in the bottom lane, starting with a Headdress.
a Headdress level, look at that.
Headdress level 1 to get that bonus HP regen.
Changing the meta.
So let's see. Look at all the heroes of Liquid when they are going to be in this tri-lane. 7.1 health regen per second in an aggro tri-lane. Have to imagine they'll get a Bassi on someone very early too. So this can be a pretty strong one. They really want to ensure that Miracle just is able to farm either versus the Bat Rider or just pull him away from the Bat. So that's probably what they're going to be doing. Even with that Divine Favor, they can dodge lanes, as we've seen teams do quite a lot. Curious to see TNC, as we've seen them playing a lot, they really like their Chen as well, right?
They
so
do.
this one was
They do.
Liquid
AU
kind of
Chen.
stealing it, right? AU really
Chen.
likes his Chen, so
It's been first pick so many times.
yep, you have to imagine that they have a really good idea about how to play around this hero. So we're going to see how they can execute versus Liquids, as Liquid, they've played this combo a lot. They like their Chen Tusk so much, as they're able to get really active on the map early on, bring GH all over the place for free with that Divine Favor as well, and make aggressive plays.
Yeah, we're seeing sort of across the draft, right? A lot of heroes that we're seeing time and time again here at TI, but I'd
Yes.
say probably the rarest out of the bunch is the Troll on the Tusk.
Yes.
Compared to all the other heroes, like, all the other 8 heroes, I feel like we've lost count of the times that we've seen teams playing.
Absolutely.
And that could bode well, very well for TNC, with a very familiar lineup that they are playing with.
And a strong lineup of disables. Like Kyle mentioned, you look at the lineup of Liquid, they're kind of limited on their disables. They have Ravage and then they have Tusk, and that's kind of, their way of controlling the team fights. You look at the side of TNC, they've got Kunkka, Wraith King, Mirana. They even have Shadow Demon, who I feel like is kind of his own stun anyway now because of how amazing this hero really is. With a 61 pick rate and 60-something% win rate, this hero is insane in this tournament. And it is also a UNTNC. They're actually running their own aggro tri-lane, and they're putting the Bat Rider in the safe lane, making sure that Kuku can actually get something instead of just getting shut down completely if he was left alone or in a dual lane. They want to be sure to try to give Kuku a good game. We'll see how this mid matchup ends up going, as, like Panel said, Torrent, really good spell versus Templar Assassin.
You've got to imagine the Kunkka's going to have the edge, right?
That's what you would imagine, yeah. TA should be able to farm once you get your levels just fine, but...
Yeah, you're always going to come back as a TR, right? Like we may see in the lane Armel get the CS advantage, but he's going to be able to find the means to catch back up with the jungle.
Yep. As long as, that's the one thing that I look at, I'm like, they have to make sure that Miracle doesn't have to get resorted to go to the jungle, right? I think that's why they're trying to secure him so much, is because they have a TA on their team. If you have a point where the TA is going to the jungle, your Troll Warlord's going to the jungle, and then you're playing an aggressive lineup with a Tidehunter, a Tusk, and the Chen moving on the map making plays, you're going to be extremely limited.
And they do rely on, of course, having the TA and the Trolls. At least one of them getting one of those early items, whether it be the Deso or for the TA or for Miracle. We'll see what his build is going to be. Whether he
could be a
get the defusal.
Yeah, a possibility versus that Wraith King, of course.
Yeah, certainly should be expected.
Yeah.
And they'll need it to make those fights happen. As you say, they're already just reliant on the Tide and the Tusk to really get things started. They've got to make sure that they have actually someone behind that sort of play to do the damage, because unlike TNCs, they don't have that crazy amount of wham-bam magical burst and you're dead.
They might have to swap the lanes here. I think Kuroki might want to Divine Favor the Troll Warlord up top pretty soon, as the lanes are starting to get switched up, and now is where you're putting a Troll versus the Bat Rider. Sure, Miracle, he's still free farming really well right now, but we know how this matchup can go. You just get a couple stacks on yourself, and you just get chased by that Bat Rider, and you do not like playing versus that as a Troll.
For now, GH trying to do his best to punch him away.
They got the side pull to get that one there as the Mirana here.
Getting good control of that bottom lane. Kuku wants also try and hope to have a bit of a look into the CSs at the moment. He is struggling to find many of the old creeps. The same is to be said for Mind Control. It's a slow start in creep score at least, but they are both getting good experience.
Both of them were pressured really hard. The Courier, they brought the Courier bottom. It was still walking. He just leaps forward and kills it.
Oh, if only they'd waited a few more seconds. It was just about to be upgraded mid lane.
Armel, almost, guys, the side blades there.
Is able to X-mark Weehar to make sure he cannot dive him. But that's it, yeah, the Courier down. That's someone's Wraith Band hitting the deck.
That's Weeha's regen. Also, he has 1 Tango. He still has a couple Mangoes, of course, for that too, but he could be a little bit troublesome here, as they won't be able to bring anything else to him for quite a while.
Is able to keep the CS pretty even between him and Armel. As we see the matchup transcend with Kunkka and TA, 90 for 4, 90 for 3. Very even between these two mid laners. Of course, just both heroes very good at getting the right clicks, whether it be with that hard-hitting base damage of the Kunkka or the refraction of the TA.
Yeah, we are catching back up pretty quickly there. So they are starting to recover both of those heroes that were aggro tri-laned at first, now able to start getting something, as MyControl's even getting aggressive onto Gabby here with that Mud Golem from Kuro. And like Panel mentioned, you know, the Tidehunter laning versus the Wraith King, it's pretty good. You're always going to be able to go for those anchor smashes onto the skeletons, and look, this is what we were talking about.
This bottom lane, you said they needed to get out of there. They didn't.
I feel like they should have
stuck
actually
around, and I mean, you foresaw this. You said this bottom lane, once the level's there on Bat, he's just going to run them over.
Yeah,
and he does.
He comes back down bottom, too. I mean, they have the Divine Favor from Kuroki, like I was mentioning, to bring him up there. But, yeah, they're just choosing to actually keep this matchup. It's going to be really crippling for Miracle, though. You have to expect that's going to happen. Every single time there's a rotation from Tims, they can easily set up onto this Troll Warlord. But they're keeping it this way. That's why they want to lane it. They want to keep the Tide versus that Wraith King.
And that lane in itself is still a bit of a scary one for MyControl as well on the top.
Yeah.
Has to be careful getting down low, just down to the Mango and obviously a stick, but sitting very low on the HP. In fact, there's the TP. He's going to head over to the shrine.
Looks like they're actually going to bring the Chen bottom instead of moving the Troll Warlord, so it's still just trying to secure the Miracles down here instead. You saw the arrow on the creep. Cuckoo, he's got Firefly, gonna get slowed up here.
Should be... I'll say that the Mud Golem stun's coming in, causing some issues. He'll pop the stick charge, snowball across from GHH and trying to kill, but he's burning. The Firefly's killing him, bringing him low. Tims jumps in, he'll be able to finish it off. Cuckoo's fine. And TNC getting a 3rd kill down on this bottom lane. It's 5 minutes in there at a 2k lead.
Yeah,
Liquid's refusal to switch those lanes, get a better place for Miracle is making this bottom lane a bit of a... It's just a beautiful zone for Cuckoo to have a dream start in terms of getting involved in kills.
I mean, TNC's probably thinking the same thing. They're probably like, oh, this is cool. We have Cuckoo actually lane. This is what we wanted. We wanted to have Cuckoo in versus that Troll Warlord, and even better that it's in the safe lane. That's the way that they set the lanes up, so. Gotta constantly see TNC set up for those aggressive plays.
They've got to be careful, Liquid, anytime they try and go for this bat, as it could backfire.
Aha. They have a good amount of slow. Now with Kuroki getting more creeps, he's able to, you know, get that the Satyr Banisher, but it's always going to keep getting arrowed. Panel mentioned that, the draft panel.
Tims is going to be happy with this.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing the big creeps to the lane.
The last one almost maybe caught Cuckoo killed a little bit because he killed the Mud Golem and the Shard Golems came out, but it ended up being just fine. But yeah, the 2k gold advantage, they're perfectly fine with the way these lanes are set up. Tims is, like we always say, Tims is going to start transitioning. He's got the first kills of the game. He's already top 5 net worth. He's same gold as the Troll Warlord down bottom. So the stacks, looking at Liquid at the moment, they're not actually setting up any stacks at all here, which we've seen a lot of teams doing, I think, more than ever. We always talk about that stack game. We saw how much, especially EG was doing it this morning. We saw like triple stacks all over the jungle. So we'll probably see them back up soon, or maybe Kuroki will send a creep to stack those.
See top lane, arm out, maximizing the damage, getting the Tidebringer hit off the creep, sets up with the X-Mark Boat combo, and MyControl is taken out. Making those early moves and making the most out of getting that level 7 nice and early on as the mid lane Kunkka.
Yeah, crisp, easy rotations coming out. So the other thing they do have, as we see just used down bottom right there by Kuroki, that little Satyr Banisher, he's kind of keeping that one, not only just to put the pressure and slow, but to remove the sticky stacks from Miracle. So if Miracle is getting gone on, he can use that little Dispel on his teammate to help him out.
Back towards mid, Weeha, he's coming a little aggressive. What's he doing in the trees? He's going to be straight up dead, surely, yes? Yeah, there's no escape for Wee. As it's not only the bottom, the top lane, it's the mid lane as well. TNC, we've seen them do this before. They are getting every single lane in their control, and they're getting kills all across the map.
We saw what they were able to do. The games that we casted versus Liquid, they ran away with those early games pretty hard in the majority and just were able to just completely control the map. And it's only 8 minutes in, but we're approaching like 3k gold marks, and the pressure, like we said, Liquid, how do they get aggressive? The Templar Assassin and the Troll Warlord, I mean, they're still doing okay, but who's going to make the move around the map?
Wow, and which hero do you get aggressive on? Mid lane, another combo's laid out, and it's another kill for TNC, just finding any opportunity to outnumber and make the pounce happen. Because
looking like free moves for them. They're just making
really
it look pretty simple with their rotations.
And I don't know how Liquid can make a move at this moment, because not only, as you say, it's hard for their heroes, it's also hard to do it on the heroes of TNC. They've got a mid lane Kunkka. He's very tanky. If he gets a poke down, now they're trying, but a good disruption. Saves him from the initial combo. Tim's is coming in with the wraparound armor. He's trying to get to the high ground. He's still alive. They're putting us out. He's getting back to the tower, but they will kill him off. They'll get the kill, but now the turnaround comes into play. Tim's turns, finds GH. Weeha's trying to dive for more. One more hit on Tim's will do it. Has the salve, taking him back up. Kuro's looking to dive. Tim's underneath the tower. Will be closed upon. Weeha gets the meld strike in, and finally Liquid are able to get some kills in their favor.
That's massive for them. Just able to set up, you having all these traps set up, Weeha with that aggression, actually able to get Armel when he pushed up too far this time. So that one, Liquid finally able to turn it around. That's a lot of space.
Because it is a big kill to find. Yep. As I was going to say, the 3 cores, they're not easy. You got the Kunkka, who's, when he's got the boat online at least, I believe didn't have it available in that attempt. He's going to have that rum on him. You have a Wraith King with that second life when he's willing to put up a skill point into it. And you got the bat down bottom, as we've seen before. You try and chase this bat, you don't kill him straight away. Next thing you know, you're walking through the fire and the flames, and you're dead.
TNC immediately smoking up. They know they can keep putting this pressure on here too. They still have, every time they do have boat available, they will make that move.
See in the river. TNC heavily outnumbering Liquid here. Miracle and GH have to be careful.
They're able to get, they're able to back up there. Kuroki also getting some deep vision during all these last few moments.
GH tried to come across a little closer to the rune. Arrow is going to be whiffed, but GH is going to end up rolling himself in pretty deep. TNC's still a little careful about how they go on him. They don't want to try and force too much on a support kill.
They're losing their mid tower because of it. That rotation, they left to go bottom to gank, and Weeha's like, oh, thank you. He comes in and does 1,700 damage to that mid tower. Very important for Liquid, that map control that they can't get if they are able to actually get that mid tower. So much vision and opportunities they can get from just putting even down TA traps deeper.
So they're going to charge Cuckoo. Got the Fireflies who will try and get himself over the charge, but with the Troll Summon, they've got the control. Cuckoo trying to escape, but they have the damage. It's Miracle. Those Axis will find the kill. Liquid now to start to even that net worth difference. Back off.
GH, even though he's 1-4-1, he's making the moves around the map with the team to at least bring them back with that. That tag team bonus really coming into play there versus Cuckoo. Can't actually get away from them as he's constantly getting hit and slowed and hit and slowed. And that allows Miracle to be a little more enabled too. That tag team bonus giving him that extra damage. That's tanking the arrow, that catapult alive. Nicely done by GH as well.
They'll look to try and outnumber Mind Control top. They know that the pressure's on bottom from Liquid. Mind Control, he's left. Very, very open for that play to happen, and they'll try and get a bit of a push on themselves. But Liquid, as it is, should be able to finish this tier 1 tower. No interest in TNC coming down here and trying to deal with the Chen Troll push for now. Tower will go Liquid's way. Fusel Blade starts to get built into by Miracle.
That cuts the gold lead, the experience lead, completely back to 0 after that early game. Small rotations coming into play, but they're able to also get a lot off the map from Weeha. As he backs up, takes the mid tower, goes to the jungle, completely recovers. It's the TA who was having a little bit of a disadvantage matchup in that Kunkka, and now almost level 12, and the Desolator's about to come online. Look at these heroes.
Quick.
TNC's heroes, they can be pretty squishy versus that early Desolator.
They can indeed.
Even Wraith King, not that high of an armor hero. He only has the 4 on base and then your 6 extra with that phase boots. But still, that's a lot that's going to be coming out from Weeha, as he pretty much has it done.
Yeah, they'll have a good shot at being able to kill that Wraith King twice when they go on the hunt for Gabby. It's Gabby. Midas and 1,400 gold as he works towards the Radiance. Just a bit of a timer to see what point of the game he'll be able to get that online and how it's going to correspond with some of these core items on Miracle and Weeha.
Armel's really acting as the ganker here, walking through the Sentry Ward here. Can he get the X? He will get it on Miracle, and the Bat Rider boots of travel on the creep wave.
There's the setup. Tara and Poe will start to lay down some of the poison. With Demonic Purge, Miracle can do very little to get himself out of this. Won't even bother wasting the 1 charge. Knows that he's dead. TNC find him out. They're little too far on that bottom lane and a little alone.
But it is on their side of the map, so that's the one thing for Liquid is, you know, they killed him there, but can they transition into anything there as they have to bring 4 heroes? And look at Liquid. They are quickly running to the pit with that Deso finished up with the tag team.
Are TNC going to expect this? We have, what, the smoke up Armel, AU, they're heading over.
They seem to know.
Illusion's going to be sent out first to start to scout any possible maneuvers, but they're still under the cover of the smoke. Oh, so it's not a ridiculously fast Roche. It's a good time with the Deso.
They're starting to figure it out now.
Can they get in the pit? The shards have blocked them off from getting in. Armel, it's a big torrent. They're going to try and interrupt this. Liquid, they'll get it. They get the kill. TNC will get the kill on Roche. Liquid are able to continue to secure the Aegis. Mind Control will die for this one. So TNC find a little bit of action, taking the kill away. And finally, after a bit of time, finishing off Mind Control. But the Aegis is still secured by Weeha.
Who ended up getting the last hit there? It
Beat
was
the
TNC,
poison,
but
right?
who actually...
Poison,
TNC, but
right?
who actually... Was it the poison? Yeah, I couldn't tell.
I
which one
imagine
actually
so.
got it.
He got a few stacks on it. It's nothing crazy, but...
Yeah, a couple things. Yeah, it looked like it was the poison.
That's a bit of money. I mean, you can see there, 3k back up. TNC with that advantage. But obviously, eyes are on Liquid to make something happen with the Aegis on Weeha. They can definitely look to try and push for some of those tier 2s, or at least the tier 1 that does still stand towards that top lane.
Yeah. Still tough to make those like aggressive moves, right? Until Weeha does have a Blink Dagger or they go for the Tidehunter Blink Dagger, it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to get on top of heroes. We still see them, they are constantly smoking though. They're using their vision. They're trying to keep these aggressive moves and keep Liquid able to play on the opposing side of the map because he's trying to make sure that he maximizes the farm for the team. We were worried that maybe they both resort to jungle, but if this is the way they're going to do it, this is a good way to keep the pressure up while farming. But TNC, they're all set up around their area here. These bounty runes. They're going to look to even go for the aggressive one. They are pinging it out. Gabby does kind of want to go up there, but Chen, they see those creeps and they know it's a bit too scary to actually perch forward.
And we'll be able to get the 2 up top though. TNC, so securing the 3.
Bounty.
So they just make sure that Liquid struggle to get back in with the lead. Halberd gonna be the next pickup for Armel.
Best item in the game versus pretty much one of the best items in the game versus TA, that longer duration.
And Troll, right?
And
Both
also
of
very good
these
for Troll,
heroes.
yeah.
Both of these heroes render pretty useless in the fights. Obviously a long time until BKBs are out. Miracle is going to start to build towards his after the defusal.
It's definitely grim for the Troll. You pop Battle Trance, you get disarmed, you stand there. Not much you can do about it.
And they've got great ways to play with that sort of time where he's in the Berserk.
Yeah.
And the disruption kiting him up as well. It's disruption and disarm. Makes it a big nightmare for Miracle before he has the BKB. Top lane again, Mind Control. It's going to be the one to get gone upon. But the Kraken, but there's the lasso, dragging him back. TNC will finish off the old watermelon.
So much damage coming in from the Kunkka with that Tidehunter, with all these items. The Shadow Blade plus that Sage, extra damage coming in. Quickly able to bring down Mind Control, he's farming slowly in this game. Not able to really get that Blink Dagger, but he's matched up at least with Cuckoo.
See down here, the Moonlight Shadow being used for Gabby. It's just going to end, so GH eyes on Gabby. Arrow's going to whiff. Gabby's going to try and come in fact, onto Weeha. They'll get on top of him as well with Cuckoo and the Firefly. Tims and Armel turning up as well as they'll surround Weeha. The Tiebreaker hit comes in. They take the Aegis out of Weeha. They're going to look for more. It's Liquid. A push to the side. Here's the second life of Weeha. Aegis, as he'll be able to blink away. Now looks to go back in, looking to get on top of Gabby. Gabby now on the retreat. They've lost Cuckoo on TNC. Can Liquid find anything more out of this? GH has got eyes on Tims. The trap's being used by Weeha to help continue the chase, but they don't want to run into the dark. They have no vision on the high ground, so they won't go any further, Liquid, as it's simply an Aegis traded for the life of Cuckoo.
Cuckoo's probably right with that. He's, you know, as we say, it's TNC. Cuckoo's like, I'm kind of the sacrifice. I'm not the real 3 position. Tims will eventually become that 3.
And sort of the time is ticking, of course, for Gab. obviously they've got that vision inside their jungle, Liquid, so fully aware.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
TNC
attack.
setting up for this push up top. They may just have to let this tier 2 go though. Still not quite ready, I feel, to turn up. The fights aren't going to be easy at all if they do choose to take them. It just leaves sort of mind control to keep the pressure on. Already the skeleton's starting to really beat down on that tower. Damage is being done, the pressure being kept on by TNC at this early point. Set up down bottom from Marmel.
They know someone's going to show down here.
But the vision's there from Cuckoo, crossing over the tree line with the Firefly to find the X mark vision for Armel.
Buys time for his course to at least farm. It's not even that much gold, right? 196 gold. How much XP do they get? They get like 630. That's actually a pretty decent amount. But yeah, he pushes the lane out, forces moves, and keeps his teammates farming where they are trying to get their BKBs. Because, like we said, for Liquid, they have mostly physical damage, but then we look at TNC, they have a lot of mixed and a lot of control. A lot of stuns, as the draft panel had talked about, so these BKBs for Liquid are going to be really needed for them to be able to take those fights.
Was, of course, a kill around the runes spawning, so TNC again will be able to secure the majority, 3 bounty runes, for the one that Liquid's going to get the chance to grab.
They tried to also use that opportunity to get some deep vision down, but as we saw, Liquid was already prepared. They had the sentry down. Miracle easily able to get that one. So Liquid, like we said, they're just buying time. Right now is farm time for those BKBs. TNC, I mean, they're okay with farming as well.
Oh, they certainly are.
Yep.
With this Kunkka Ray King.
Midas and Iranians, right?
And Tim's, as you mentioned, the 4th core in the making for TNC if the game does go on. They do not mind this passive state of the game. Obviously, Liquid feel like it is the only way for them to play at the moment. You do have to agree.
They need BKBs to fight.
They really do.
Troll Warlord into this is way too difficult to fight when he doesn't have it.
He's pretty much got it, and the same to be said for Weehas. Definitely, within the next minute when those BKBs are out, you can expect Liquid to start to look to make those plays and look to take the fights on their own terms.
They have to make a lot happen with those BKBs too, right? Your 10-second BKBs are massive because once those start trickling down, that is one of the things that we know about TA is you get to the later stages, you only have a 5-second BKB to work with, it can be really problematic. So they're going to have both looking to come out actually at the exact same time. So this is a big peak here for Liquid. And they do actually also have vision right now of TNC with this ward here up on that top bounty room. So a lot of information going for them on the map. Mid lane is still kind of pushing in, so they have to address that before they can make too big of a smoke. So one person will take that one out. And Liquid, they're going to look to set up here. But TNC, they're positioned here on the high ground.
See, this is the all-important fight for Liquid. They're 4K down, they've got the BKBs. This is the time to swing that net worth advantage back in their favor. Miracle's going to look to start the fight with the wraparound. He's got eyes on Gabby. Jump forward from AU. AU's going to be the first to fall. Now they'll be able to focus down the Wraith King. Gabby getting his mana burnt by the defusal. Weehar picks up the second. The exact kind of maneuver that Liquid was hoping to execute with that smoke and the BKBs. They're able to find a couple of kills, one of them being the big old Wraith King, getting Gabby off the map and opening up some space to pressure down middle lane.
Very methodically done, right? The way they wrapped around that smoke. Instead of going just walking up to the high ground, they sent GH to the high ground, and then they wrap around the back to get the squishy supports as well as that Wraith King, who's still at this point, like we said, 5 armor, 5 plus 6 armor. So he just gets easily brought down from these physical heroes of Liquid. And he switched the build. He's actually wanting to go for a more aggressive type build onto Gabby, that is, with a Blink Dagger. He had the BKB queued, he bought the Blink really quickly. So they want to be the ones jumping in and starting the fights, maybe killing units before they get those BKBs off.
I can see that, and I can see that for the escapes as well, right?
Yes.
Or just having the Blink of Wraith King, not only with the reincarnation, but you do have a Shadow Demon on your side. So you are going to have that disrupt into Blink escape.
They still have the axes, right? The Troll Warrior axe is one of the better things in stopping those instant blinks, but yeah, can definitely be used to get an escape off. And the big next timing, right? That Roche. 1 minute until it is going to be spawning. Liquid always keep tabs of it because they have those traps. So TNC, they want to try to have something happen within these next few moments. Try to catch Liquid when they are split up. Literally, they're just farming the map with that BKBs. They're feeling pretty comfortable now.
Yeah, whether it be getting a kill before the Roche is up, or just making them use the BKBs, making sure that they won't have the BKB charges ready for that Roche fight. That's at least the aim of TNC, and you see it straight away. Smoke up. It's time to make a play. I know that they just lost sort of the last bit of momentum, but they can definitely get it back if they're able to find a catch. Miracle.
These next few moments are so crucial. They find the smoke also to a power rune. They actually see an arcane. They're kind of camping it here, hoping someone Liquid is going to walk down.
It is warded, so if Liquid had their eyes on it.
They pinged it immediately. Yeah. Hiroki pinged it right away. He's like, they're bottom. Yep, they're smoke bottom. He knows.
That's the risk you take when you take those power runes when you're smoked. And either way, it looks like TNC sort of knew it themselves. They grab the rune. They don't try and look any deeper. They don't go up to the high ground. They know that Liquid's very likely to have wards on the area.
They've got all their lanes pushed out right now on the side of Liquid. It's go time again. Like we said, those BKBs, they're also going to be constantly looking for fights. Also now, I believe GH is bringing a Blink Dagger. This is also another very crucial item for Liquid. As Kyle mentioned on that draft panel, a lot of different ways that you can, they're telltale the way the TNC spell is going to be coming out. There's a lot of ways that you can get some nice saves coming in from GH.
There we go. Smoke into Roche.
It's going to be a big fight.
It is scanned out, so TNC know exactly what's up. Cuckoo's going to start heading over with the Firefly. Moonlight Shadow being offered over by Tims. As Liquid will go for it. And he take it out very quickly. Cuckoo's going to try and look for the timing. He's in with the lasso. Armel's in with the BKB. The time bringing them over mind control. He's outside the pit with the Ravage. Armel already got the BKB up, but Tims is punched up into the air. Gabby's trying to tab, but a quick melt in from Weehart takes him down the once. He's back with a second life. Blinks over to the side. Weehart still trying to keep his eyes on Gabby. The Red Fire Blast slows down Weehart, but the rest of Liquid collapsing on the Wraith King. As Liquid will be able to hold this area around the pit. Armel tries for another poke, but he's already used the BKB. He's got to be careful. He's out of mana. 2 big hits from the TA. Bring Cooker down low. As TNC back up to the high ground. Tims is looking for the limit. He's trying for the steal. They are not going to get it though. Weehart will be able to secure that Aegis. Buyback for GH as he knows now with the Aegis in Weehart's hands. This is the fight for Liquid to take. Torrent out to Weehart and Mind Control. Miracle still on the sea escape, trying to desperately run away from those Shadow Demon illusions. GH and Mind Control, they're still on the front lines, punching up Armel. Miracle, he's thinking about going in, but he's incredible and he doesn't have the Aegis himself. It's on, or it was on Weehart. There's the jump forward. AU taken out. Weehart once more. As TNC, they're getting pushed all the way back. Mind Control's there with the wraparound. Leap forward for GH. They've found Tims as well. As TNC tried their best to time it around the Roche, but this time they won't even get the kill. Both elements going the way of Liquid.
They're too tanky. They have too much regen and ways of sustain. Coming in from the Chen, he pops the Hand of God, pops a mech. Fight kind of turns on itself. TNC, their damage just is not there. And we see Gabby. He looks like a support at this point. He dies so quickly in the fights from all the physical damage. Liquid, they're just knocking on the racks already.
I'll send a boat down mid, won't make the connection. 40 seconds, no Tims. Liquid more than happy to stand their ground and look to take this Rax away. Just 26 minutes there, they'll go for the lead in with the lasso, but snowball forward, Gabby throws out the zone. Armel puts the BKB, but he has to put the BKB in right. It's so much physical damage output coming out from Liquid. Miracle with the ult, he beats down Cuckoo. Gabby's out of mana, he's got to back off. The buyback comes in from Cuckoo. They'll look for the drag back with the X mark, looking towards Miracle, but he has to move at speed to get out. He's back in as the Orchid cuts down the SD, looks over to Cuckoo. That's a dive back on the Bat Riders. Liquid
they're going to keep going
up the mid racks.
They look like they want to keep going, but they don't have tier 2s. They look like they want to.
I mean, they know they can.
They're just going to go over tier 4s.
It's 2 heroes dead without buyback. This should be Liquid being able to close down the game. Tier 4s are falling. TNC, can they hold up the 3? They're going to jump in. Silence out immediately onto Gabby. Gabby, he's got to be careful. His Moonlight Shadow, but Mind Control, the Ravage hits onto 3. Gabby's dead the once. They'll look for him a second time. Stun out to Miracle, but Weehart's BKB is back and available as TNC are pushed back. Blinking aggressively from Weehart behind the Tiffle, behind the Ancient. Gabby's dead for 80. No buyback on him as well. Liquid will retreat. It will offer a little bit of mercy, a little bit of time. We are still being fought by Tims and Armel. They'll look for the X-Mark, but Tims, he's been slowed down, run down. He's got one lead, but Miracle's into the reinforcement. We are Blicks in, and that's Tims dead too. And with that, they could certainly have a good shot at closing this out. The fortification is there.
Armel is going to try his best with some cleaves, maybe setting them back a little bit, but they have the heal coming out from that mech.
Got the SD back in place. 7 seconds and Cuckoo's back in.
They're going to give him some respect. They're going to back off. They got the tier 4s. Structural damage been done.
Absolutely.
All that gold as well.
28 minutes in, and the base being exposed, the Ancient exposed. Over the sort of the matter of those last few minutes of gameplay, 4 buybacks being used by TNC to no avail.
You have to be wondering if maybe in some of these situations like Gabby, he needed to go for a different, like an armor item in between. It seems like he bought the plate mail now later on after these last few fights went really poorly, but we saw he walks into the fights over and over again and he just melts. I feel like an armlet could have really argued to be a really good choice on him in this one because he just dies way too fast. He's not really having any type of impact on this Wraith King, while he has these other frontline heroes, the Kunkka, the Batrider, able to get in there.
We'll see it again. TNC just trying their best to slow down this pressure that Liquid's applying. And they just don't have the means to do so. The BKB timings from Liquid earlier just really set everything in motion for their lineup.
And too much sustain. The Chen just rallied around Kuroki, having all that different types of healing coming in. Even the Vlads, more healing coming in for those carries. Yeah, you can see. A bit frustrated.
GH still in the zone. Keeping it focused. As much as it looked like the game would end, it's going to be for now. They do hold the Ancient.
They have such a commanding lead now, though. We saw the last few fights without these other items picked up. Miracle, a full Satanic. The Orchid we saw, of course, by Weehan that last fight. And even now a Solar Crest for Mind Control. So these carries, who are hitting extremely hard, now are going to be hitting even harder versus this, what became a super squishy Wraith King after having such a good farm.
It really did. It really did. And we have seen TNC make some remarkable comebacks in the group stage. And they do it here on the main stage. This game is getting quickly out of control for them.
It feels like their damage is, they've hit a wall of damage pretty much. Liquid just able to counteract it too much. Sure, TNC, they keep coming back in, they throw a Tidebringer, they throw a Starstorm, then they leap back out. They have a lot of different ways to like poke and prod, but yeah, Liquid, they just rally and group up and it's too much right now for TNC to take. Around this Tidehunter, like we said, this hero has been also winning a lot of games, just the way that the group up, the team fights that happen, the way that you're able to just counter-initiate and just ruin the whole entire idea and the way the TNC wanted to fight.
And of course, as you mentioned, so that all-important hero there, the power of who gets the Chen in this series.
Yep.
And whether we see Kuro being able to grab it for Liquid or AO being able to bring it out for TNC is going to be quite a deciding pick in the drafts.
Absolutely. I mean, you see him. He's 1-0 and 13. It's not even like TNC is like hemorrhaging kills all over the place. Armel is 6-1 and 4 in this game. It's pretty remarkable the way that they can just group up around this hero, around the Tidehunter as well, and just start to close the map and win a couple fights and just snowball out of control. It's what we see a lot happen with these Templar Assassins. These 30-minute pushes, these 25-minute pushes with an Aegis, able to really just take over your advantage. As yeah, Liquid, they're just controlling the map now, and Gabby is trying to find some farm on the map, hiding in the trees with his Radiance off, but Liquid, they want blood. Kuroki wants blood too, look at him.
He's ready.
Pretty fierce, pretty fierce stance there.
He's got that fighting face on. So they'll continue to just clean up the easy free money. Another shrine will fall.
You can tell TNC's feeling pretty desperate. Trying to get any type of forms of farm on the map. Gabby pushing far forward. Cuckoo as well trying to cut waves. Liquid.
To the base they go there, AU. Getting smashed by the anchor. We are in with the quick finishing blow. As this 5-man of Liquid just seems a little too powerful right now. This draft for TNC to deal with and hold back at the 32-minute point. Into the base they go, Liquid. Ancient's starting to get poked upon by Miracle.
Just put him in that front lines there. Yes, Satanic, yes, BKB, yes, Solar Crest. Throne's going down. Gabby can jump in.
He's going to try for the jump. Snowball comes out. They'll turn quickly, looking to burst him down the first. And in fact, he's down in mana. He's dead without a chance.
Short.
They burn his mana. They burn his life. Ravage is out from Mind Control. They're all dying again on TNC as Liquid will push Armel back to the base. And GG is called. This game was over at least about 5 minutes ago. They tried for one last shot. It's the main stage. You've got to do it. But game one, without a doubt, goes the way of Liquid. And you can't help but feel as well that this one was a game where a lot of it really was on the draft. It worked out perfectly for Liquid. They knew the exact tempo to play with this lineup. They get the Kuroki Chen. They hit all their timings. And try as they might, TNC as well, a team that had a good start in the lanes. They were performing well in the first 10 or so minutes, but as the draft started to clash, they just didn't have it in their lineup to deal with this physical push and sustain that Liquid had.
It's the sustain, right? And that timing, like you were mentioning, such an important timing from Liquid. They did it pretty much perfectly. All of it came together. Double BKBs came together. They take a fight. And then with this Chen, with this high amount of healing, Kuroki having this 1-0-18, we see the damage numbers. TNC, they did a lot of damage, but a lot was negated.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. First game of the series. I mean, Fog, just a quick word from you. Going into game two, what are you watching out for the draft to change?
Probably the Chen is one you have to